Well, at the
New South
moment.
Wales,
but there's fires in Perth, yeah.
Those are the densest population centres of Australia. So while it's only affecting, a small, a relatively small section in terms of the total area of Australia, that's where most of the people are. So
true.
So it doesn't affect South Australia or Northern Territory or Tasmania, Western Australia, but I believe New South Wales has more population than those states combined. So
yeah. The other thing that I want to point out as well is that the tract that the fire has taken, if you look at on a map, happens to be the same tract that they're looking to build the high-speed rail, which they've been talking about since the 70s.
Oh, the Brisbane to Melbourne.
Brisbane to Melbourne. Now, a lot you could say no, yes, yeah, nah, you're wrong, Benny. However, though, it's along the same track.
It's an interesting conspiracy theory, I suppose. See how that plays out.
I'm not trying to be a conspiracist whatsoever, but also as well, I just want to move off this because another town as well, which is running low on water, and I don't remember the name just off the top of my head, despite the fact that I have the combined, internet in front of me and a computer or a laptop.
Yeah, you're running the antivirus on the verbal supercomputer at the moment.
Yes, exactly. There's a town with their dwindling drinking water has found to have arsenic in it. Now, what's going on here? This is, with all these bushfires and stuff, are we finding opportunistic dumb that are coming literally out of the bush, literally out of the woodwork, who are trying to sabotage Australia? What do you think?
Unfortunately, times like this, crises bring out the best in Australians, and they also bring out the worst in Australians. So it wouldn't surprise me.
Dickheads, that's what they are.
Like I heard a story the other day. There was the person going around in a fully legit RFS uniform.
Oh, in our local area. Yes, I heard the warning about this yesterday. Keep going.
Going door to door, knocking on the door, asking for money for the RFS. Just, the sob story, coming around. I'm coming off a really long shift. I just need some money to go and get, supplies for the guys. Got to get some food, get some drinks and stuff. If you got any money to spare, all that sort of thing. And just, so the warnings come out through all of the local police, emergency services, social media feeds so that people know that the person's in the area. I'm just like, what a piece of shit.
What a grub.
These are most of the people here, I don't know if the listeners are aware, but
he was in full uniform.
Almost the entirety of the firefighters that are out in the western parts of New South Wales are volunteers.
Yep.
So these are people just like you and me that have decided, for the good of the people that live in my area, I am going to give up my time to learn how to fight fires to keep other people safe. I'm going to be away from my family over Christmas. I'm going to put my life on the line. I'm going to do it for, 10, 12, 14 hours a day and then come back and do it all again the next same day tomorrow, same thing tomorrow. And this piece of shit, this utter stain on society has just become this opportunist and is going to steal money in their name.
Yeah. The RFS, I need to point out, by the way, is the largest volunteer service in the world. It's the biggest organisation with the largest amount of volunteers in the world. So there's bound to be some skid mark who should have ended up as a brown stain on the mattress like that out there. That's disgraceful. There are times where I think, gee, you know what, I'm proud to be an Australian, but I'm really not proud to be an Australian when I hear about shit like that. That's disgraceful, isn't it, Frase?
There's extra laws that need to be made about that.
Yeah. Now, they were trying to talk about the fact that they needed to have a blue card. And I'll finish this off quickly because we're almost 2 subjects in. A blue card for RFS, this is a story from a couple of weeks ago, for working with children. So every single person in the RFS has to have a working with children check that they are talking about. Now, I'm sorry, if that person is capable, don't get me wrong, you're a teacher, you understand, Frase, exactly how important that actually is. So you understand that. But if there need persons at the front line fighting a fire and they're holding a hose, okay, their attention's on the fire, not the fact that they're going to attempt to sexually abuse a child. And if they're there for that, then they would have been weeded out long before they even got to that front line.
Yeah, there's certainly far better opportunities to go and molest children than joining the RFS, especially in Australia.
Sorry, we hope that there are not better opportunities for that to occur.
Well, sorry, if I had any kid that was inside a fire and somebody goes in and grabs them, I don't care where they grab them. Get them the out of that fire.
Yep, absolutely.
Just doesn't matter what it takes. Just get them out.
We've gone to this point now in this country where, like, you know, we've got an essential service here, but no, we're going to block people from actually being part of that essential service.
That was what I was going to say. The concerning thing about that is, you know, you're thinking about joining the RFS and you want to go and do it, and then they go, oh, you just need to get a working with children's check. And if you've got anyone that's sort of half on the fence about it, goes, well, I've got to go and get one of those. That I'm not going to join. Like, why put barriers up to do it? And I don't remember hearing anything in the media where the need for a working with children's check had become rampant through our volunteer firefighters.
It's just the society we live in now. It really is. Like, you can't do anything. You know, if you had, like, the neighbours' kids that kept throwing a ball over the bloody fence or something like that. You remember when kids played outside? We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I remember.
They're playing backyard cricket, you know, and if they get the shits and they lean over the fence and glare at kids and, oh, shit, the police are called, and then all of a sudden they're a pedo. It's ridiculous. In this regard, no, I'm serious. You're shaking your head, Fraser.
No, I'm just remembering back to the 80s and thinking... Those were the good old days.
They were the good old days, you know, and you never noticed whether or not your neighbour was perving you up.
I didn't care. I was playing cricket. I mean, geez.
An 8-year-old bloody phrase.
Now, have you got it? Flaunt it, phrase.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, I mean, back then I just
you do have a sweet ass now, though, but gravity's taking over.
Yeah, well it's
sorry, pedos.
Yeah.
He's off the market.
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
Blokes, we're probably not going to have a speed round this episode, being the one between Christmas and New Year's. However, though, there is a controversy which has opened up, and I'm just aghast at this. Shaquille O'Neal has shared a story about Stevie Wonder, saying that Stevie Wonder is not blind.
What?
Now, before I go on this phrase, got any thoughts? Stevie Wonder apparently is not blind.
Oh, man, I'm just thinking...
All those pop culture references gone to waste.
I remember that it was back in the 80s, you know, when you were bagging out, you know, all the different types of bad drivers. Oh, where'd you get your driver's license? With the back of a cereal box? Or where did you get your driver's license from? Stevie Wonder? Well, that's out the window now. I can't use that joke anymore.
Well, let's find out. Now, what about, though, let's talk about Delirious, Eddie Murphy. Now, I have sat and enjoyed Delirious with yourself in your living room at your parents' place when we were back at school, right? Eddie Murphy does a really, really great impression of Stevie Wonder. Now, conspiracy theorists have long speculated the legitimacy of music icon Stevie Wonder's blindness. Now, this may seem wild, boys, but I'm going to bring this up because you know what? Shaquille O'Neal, I like Shaquille O'Neal. Great for the Orlando Magic, moved on to the LA Lakers.
The Big Diesel.
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
The Big Aristotle.
Yeah. You know, Wee Man from Jackass can actually carry Shaquille O'Neal on his back. He's a dwarf and he can carry him on his back. Have a look at the deleted scenes for Jackass 2. Now, in 2014, conspiracy theorists went wild when Wonder caught a falling microphone when standing on stage during a performance of the Beatles' classic Hey Jude. Then, 2016, they were back at it. He fumbled with an envelope while presenting at the Grammys. Theorists jumped to conclusions after the musician successfully opened the envelope after looking down at it. So he's like, I fumbled it, now I've got it, now I'm looking down at it to open it.
Ooh.
Is that enough to prove thus far in my story that Stevie Wonder can see?
It's enough to ask questions, some serious questions to be asked.
Phrase?
How good is his sonar? Did he sort of fumble and go, there it is?
2017, a TMZ video showed the singer saying he'd not only flown a plane but landed it. Stevie Wonder's landed a plane. I've never landed a plane and I've got 20/20 vision.
They've got autopilot. I'm sure they can do that now.
NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal has thrust the conversation back into the spotlight with his tale of Stevie Wonder. This story sounds a bit wild. It begins by telling the rest of the panel on Inside the NBA, which is on Foxtel and one of those channels there. I'm going to tell y'all a Stevie Wonder story, but y'all aren't going to believe it. Now, I didn't know that Shaquille O'Neal was all about the y'all, so to speak. But anyway, story goes that one of the most dominant players in the NBA has lived in the same apartment building in Los Angeles as the music icon and bumped into him one day in the elevator. It's a true story. This is what O'Neill says. We live in the same building on Wilshire Boulevard. You park your car and the valet's down there. I'm already in the building and I'm coming through the lobby. Elevator door opens and it's Stevie Wonder. He comes in and says, "What's up, Shaq?" Presses the button. True story. Presses the button, gets off on his floor by himself, goes to his room. I went and called every I knew and told them the story, and they didn't believe me. He got on the elevator and he was like, "What's up, Shaq?" And he's like, "How you doing, dog?" He got out and he did. That's it. Stevie Wonder. So Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Ernie Johnson, which I know you're a big basketball fan, Aaron. You know, all these people, they clearly didn't believe this story. Clearly didn't believe the story. They were laughing halfway through it, but Shaquille O'Neal stands by this story. Now, is it plausible that Stevie Wonder has been to someone who's mixed up a magic potion to make him see, you know, he's called on them and they've just called to say, "I love you." You know, now he can see ebony and ivory, so to speak. Is Stevie Wonder on this type of magical journey where he can get his sight back? Because he did say, and I'll bring this up, okay, because I'm quite still sore about the death of Michael Jackson because I thought he was a genius, apart from all the other shit that people are saying in regards to him. However, though, Stevie Wonder was walked to a piano on stage at his memorial, sat down, got the mic. He's like, "This is a day I wish I never lived to see." I went, "What?"
Might be looking a little too far into that. That's
No. With the information I just gave you about Shaq, are you kidding me?
That's a turn of phrase, I think, that one. But
what? Stevie Wonder specifically chose that as a turn of phrase? Seriously?
What other phrase? I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe just like, "This is a day that I wish I didn't live to feel."
I wasn't here for. Yeah, I think that one is tenuous, but the other ones certainly paint Stevie Wonder in a questionable light.
Okay, you're the basketball fan. I'm going to ask you: is Shaquille O'Neal a liar? Is he a liar in this? No, I want to get down to the brass tacks. Is he a liar?
I wouldn't call him a liar. I haven't seen anything to say that. He's an entertainer. He's prone to sort of embellish. But if there was no...
Do you know I have a copy of Shaq Fu on the Mega Drive, which is in the room next door? That game sucks. So I don't know how good Shaquille O'Neal is off the court, so to speak. But go ahead.
Yeah, Shaq certainly likes to embellish his stories, but I don't see like if that's where that story would have came from. If they were talking about Stevie Wonder, Shaq, well, I've got a story for you. But if he's going to come out and actually initiate the conversation about Stevie Wonder, I'd be tending to think this, Shaq's legit.
He walks into the elevator and goes, "Yo, Shaq, what's up, dog?" Come on. Like, can he see shadows? Phrase like, I don't know many blind people. Like,
but hang on. Think about of all the times you've seen Stevie Wonder. Have you ever seen him with an actual guide dog?
No.
Have you ever seen him with some sort of device that he can actually guide himself?
I've never seen him with a white cane, if that's what you're getting to.
That's what I'm getting to.
I've never seen that. That's no. He's always had people like walk him around.
I mean, Michael, we're talking about Michael Jackson before. I mean, you could probably name his chimpanzee and what his name was.
Bubbles.
Yeah, well, what's Stevie Wonder's dog's name?
Yeah, but Bubbles wasn't helping Michael Jackson get around. Like in the bedroom, he may have helped him get off.
Get around what? Yeah.
White ropey jets of Jackson all around the place. But at the end of the day,
do you think the
Jacksons were jealous of Stevie Wonder, by the way? He was producing and writing his own music. Oh, hang on a minute. He's writing his own music. There's the point right there. And you write your own music. Although I have seen, I will come back to the point. Stevie Wonder had to come in and do re-records on We Are the World. You know, the big anthem?
Yeah.
We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's...
He had to come in again.
No, but he did higher top stuff. So they recorded, it was after one of the American Music Awards, I believe, and they had all these stars come into the studio, and the first thing they did was a massive chorus that you hear at the back end of the song, which is then multi-layered by other performers. But then they did, they worked out who was going to sing other parts, and they actually went around the room. It was actually fascinating to watch. There was a documentary made about it.
Right.
Stevie Wonder came back in to do recordings. I think that was a Tuesday night or a Monday night. They did everything On the Thursday night, Lionel Richie and Quincy Jones had Ray Charles, who was confirmed blind, so we're not questioning Ray Charles, okay, come in, and then they typed the actual words that Stevie had to sing on the Braille machine. Yeah. And you can actually see him on the footage feeling for it and goes, okay, I know what to do. Then he goes off and does, the normal Stevie Wonder vocal gymnastics, which you can hear on